So you hit a bad shot. One of your buddies said you shanked it. Your other buddy said you sliced it. Who's right and what's the difference between the two? Well, you've come to the right place because today that's what we're talking about. What is a slice? What is a shank? What's the difference between the two? And more importantly, how do I fix it? I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Cove, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV and the Sanford Power Golf Academy. And I don't care if you slice it or you shank it, it's just not a good shot and you're probably not playing better golf. So we're going to help you get that dialed in today and get that fixed up. Now, if you're the type of golfer who you're looking for information and ways to help improve your game, if it's bunker play or driving or chipping or putting, this is the right place for you. Be sure to subscribe to our channel because we got great stuff coming out every single week. And be sure to ring that bell because that's going to give you a notification of when new content is out and when information is there to help you start improving your game. So let's dive right into this thing. First of all, I want to talk about what's the difference between a slice and a shank, where they hit on the club, all right, because that's a big part of it. What does the ball flight look like so you can start to determine what shot you're hitting. And then we're going to dive into some suggestions on how to fix it. I'm going to give you a really good tip on your takeaway to help you if you're slicing it. And I'm going to give you one of my favorite drills for golfers who shank it. So let's dive right into it. All right, first of all, shank versus slice. Both of those shots, if you're a right-handed golfer, definitely go to the right. If you're a left-handed golfer, it would be the opposite. Now, in terms of contact on the golf club, a shank is a shot that's hit very close or actually off the hosel of the club, which is the inside of the club right here. And that typically is going to produce a ball flight for a right-handed golfer that's very low and really hard to the right. If you're slicing the golf ball, you're hitting the ball probably closer to the center of the face. Okay, and so it's going to feel relatively solid, but it's definitely high and it's leaking to the right. Once again, if you're a right-handed golfer, if you're a left-handed golfer, it would be just the opposite. So the first thing you got to understand is what defines a shank versus a slice is where it's hit on the club face. Shank off the hosel, slice relatively center, but high and to the right. So hopefully that kind of helps understand which one of your buddies is right. Are you hitting a slice or are you hitting a shank? How are we going to fix it, right? That's why you're here. Now be sure to leave a comment. If you like what I'm saying or maybe you disagree, or more importantly, you know what? If you've got a drill or something that's worked well for you, that's helped you stop shanking it or fix your slice, let me know. You might be able to teach me something, and more importantly, our fellow golfers. So let's talk first of all about the slice, and then we'll get to the shank. So in the takeaway, the biggest reason people slice the golf ball is because their face is, open. That's one of the reasons. There's multiple reasons, and we've done a ton of videos actually diving deep on fixing the slice, and you can check those out. But I want to give you a quick, nice little tip here on your takeaway, because typically that's where I see people get the club in the wrong spot, and then therefore they end up slicing it. So when you're set in there, if you're slicing the golf ball, it's very possible that what you could be doing is when you're taking the club back, the hands are rising and going out and away from you, and the club head is rotating open. So it looks something like this, away and rotated. All right, so the tip that I want to give you, and you'll notice when this is in this position, the club face is definitely open. Doesn't mean you're going to slice it 100%, but you got a lot of stuff to do to get it back in the right spot coming down. So the tip for you is when you take the club away, feel like the handle works in or towards your trail thigh, while the club head stays what we call out in front and the club face stays nice and square. So it looks something like this. Hands arc in, club head stays out. Notice the club face here. It's about a 45-degree angle. That's a good thing. Generally we'll slice, straight, maybe hook if you're like that. We're not talking about that today. We've done other videos on hooking, but that would be where you want to get it. So if you're slicing it, check your takeaway. Are your hands arcing in? And is the club face squared, this leading edge, at about a 45-degree angle? Because if you do that, that might fix your slice right away. So how about the shank? Well, we've already discussed that we're hitting it on the inside here, right? Okay, so typically for a high handicap golfer, the reason they're doing that is because from the top of their backswing, in their transition, their arms, their hands, and the club start to work out. They work out and across. And as the club works out and across, it brings the heel, the hosel, closer to the ball and then they hit it on the hosel, all right? So how are we going to fix that? Well, the simple drill, I like to call it right knee, right field. We've used this drill for some other things too, so it looks something like this. You're going to take your hands, kind of put them by your right knee for a right-handed golfer, and you're going to swing them up towards right field. Think of a baseball diamond, right? I'm here, center field, left field, right field. Hands are on the knee, and my hands are going to work up and to right field, and they're going to rotate a little bit. So it looks like this here. Now, an exaggerated version of this is I actually like to do this by putting the club on the ground. So I get set in here, I actually put the club on the ground, put my hands down by my right knee, drag it to the right, up, 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 and rotate it. So I'll do that a couple times. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, while that feels still fresh in my body, I'm going to get set in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit a shot. And try to replicate that shot. So, slicing, shanking. Here's what we've learned. And next time you head to the golf course, here's what you're going to do. You got to look at the ball flight. You got to look at where you're hitting it on the face. If you're hitting it off the hosel, that's a shank. All right? Do the right knee, right field drill. If you're hitting it relatively close to the center, but it's just high and it's leaking to the right, that's a slice. Check your takeaway. Make sure your hands are in. Make sure the club face is squared up. Either way you look at it, a shank is no good, a slice is no good, and you got to have ways to fix it. These two drills and this information hopefully is going to help you answer what's going on, but more importantly, help you fix it.